the topic of this video would be the top 5 wildlife conservation projects in India. First, we will need to know about the and need to understand what are wildlife conservations and its importance. So, first we'll get to the point of what is the definition and what do we understand by wildlife conservation. So, wildlife conservation can be defined as the prevention of wildlife from an uneven performance of people without caring about the nature, like performing like killing and poaching of the animals and just for the sake of their benefits and selfish needs. And it involves the practice of making people aware and telling about the very much importance of the wildlife and their roles in our life. So wildlife is very much important to preserve the food cycle and so on. So and next we go to the part of the importance. So first is that it maintains the balance in the ecosystem. So on earth all living beings are interconnected to each other, like um, we humans are very much dependent on the trees and the plants for fooding, as well as on the animals for non-vegetarians for getting the needs of fulfilling the needs of the protein or carbohydrates and very much other ways. So and it maintaining the food cycle as well, and not just for humans, and it maintains the balance between the other organisms as well. And next is that it maintains natural habitat. Of course, along with protecting animals, the maintenance of that natural habitat is also important. And if we are preserving the wildlife, it's just not about animals, it is also about the trees and plants and all the forests we are required. And then after not and if we do not preserve the tree, I mean the animals, and just keep cutting the forest trees, it's also gonna affect the natural habitat of them. And just previously I talked about the food chain as well, and that is the main point that maintains the food chain. If any of the animal just got extinct, it definitely gonna affect the food chain, and the result would be very much harsh. Next is what are wildlife conservation projects and how does that work, and why do we need in current scenario. So wildlife conservation projects are like they aim to you know preserve, to conserve, and to protect the animals, the extincting animals which are on the verge of the getting extinct in today time. And if we do not take any action, they're gonna just extend in coming 10 to 20 years in easily manner, and the coming future kids will not even know that they were in existence. So these projects work in such a manner that they are like create some sanctuaries or wildlife parks that they like create a place for those animals which are on a verge of getting extinct or are like gone extinct in coming years. So it works in a sustainable manner, and it's just for keeping the maintenance of the ecosystem, like. And the following reasons are there that projects are required, like to conserve the habitat or to conserve the wildlife, protect biodiversity, of course, and do agricultural activities, and to assist ecotourism, to promote pollination, to preserve heritage and culture. Of course, the tribals are dependent on that, and to protect livelihood or knowledge of indigenous tribes, etc. Next, and its importance. Like, it's extremely crucial that these creatures are protected from poaching and hunting, just because the selfish needs of humans and their performance of poaching and hunting and carelessly just hunting and killing the animals and just for their skin or tusk or ivory of the animals. It's just so selfish, and and those actions are like affecting in such a manner that it's decreasing their population on an alarming rate, and that's what needs to be controlled. And as in traditional times, the wildlife was traditionally hunted, like the kings or the queens are like in there just for their uh, entertainment purpose. Also, they just used to kill the animals on like highly rate, and to show their power they used to kill animals, and that's what is affecting now in the biodiversity and the ecosystem. And like in the famous case of state of Bihar versus Murad Ali Khan in 1889, it was held that hunting is an offense under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. The instance shows that people still continued and harmful practice in spite of legislation. Therefore, the need for conservation projects arose, and as a result, India established several wildlife conservation projects. Next, uh, we are going to talk about the top 5 wildlife conservation projects in India. So, as in India is a home to numerous wildlife conservation projects aimed to preserving and conserving our in countries, the biggest and the richest biodiversity in the world, as because the India is so much diverse in all the manners in flora and fauna. India is a home for several kinds of animals and trees. So India's government is running so much projects, and some of them, and 5 notable ones of those are Project Tiger, Project Elephant, Project Hangul, Project Snow Leopard, Crocodile Conservation Project at last. So first we'll go to the Project Tiger. So Project Tiger recently completed the 50 years of the project, and it was started in 1973. It was launched in Palamu Tiger Reserve, Jim Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand. It is a centrally government sponsored scheme of Ministry of Environment and Forests, and it primarily governed under the Wildlife Act 1972. The aim of the project is to, the protection of tigers, and to protect them to get extinct in manner, and ensuring that there are viable population of their species in the natural habitat, like to protect the tigers to be kept in the natural habitat, to to control their population to not to decrease in alarming rate, and to conserve their population in terms of protecting the ecosystem. Like, the project began from 9 reserves in 1973-1974 and substantially grown in 50 reserves. The project has seen significant success. Like, the population of tigers have been seen in a increasing manner, and the tigers are kind of in a conserved and preserved in those habitats, created habitats in wildlife sanctuaries or the national parks. And its success can be seen in the recovery of the habitat and population of the tigers in those reserved areas. Some famous cases like Sansar Chand versus State of Rajasthan, and this project has converted into a statutory authority by enabling provisions in the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. A natural tiger conservation authority has been constituted under Section 38L of the Act. The Tiger and Other Endangered Species Crime Control Bureau has also been established under the Section 38 set of the Act. Next, we go to the Project Elephant. So, Project Elephant was launched in 1992, and it's a centrally sponsored scheme. It was like a Project Tiger as well. It was also that central sponsored scheme. Usually, all the wildlife conservation projects are central sponsored only, and as in elephants are so much in target of poaching and killing for their tusks and ivory, because it is sold in international markets on high rate, and that's why the elephants were in so much endangered, and they were facing the decreasing of their population. So elephants face the threat of attrition as opposed to extinctions faced by tigers. The project aim at assisting them and to manage the protection of the elephants in the states, and have have free ranging populations of wild elephants. So for some of the followings are objectives of the projects, like the protection of elephants, protection of elephants corridors and their habitats. Like the elephants are residing and situated in some of the corridors and some of the forests which are the lying between the human habitats as well, and they kind of interfere in the human settlements, and that's what needs to be protected and conserved, to not to get indulged and not to get to uh, attacked by human easily, because of those corridors, and they are completely near the human habitats and human settlements, and that's what need to be also separated from the human settlements and the elephants corridors as well. And second is the prevention of man animal, and that's what I was talking about. Like sometimes what happened that man and animals gets conflicted, like the human settlements, the tribals, or even the outskirts villages peoples get interacted with the animals, and that's what animal gets scared of, because of the humans panic actions, like of killing them, or just beating them to get ran off from their houses, and that's what make them attack or just get killed by those humans actions, and that's what hurt them. And even if the animal, even if the one of the animals from their herds get separated or get lost from their herds, and get interacted with the human settlements, these actions and these situation cause so much endangered and so much conflicts between the human and animals. In so these needs to be uh, given on the point in these projects. And third and the last one was that ensuring the welfare of the domesticated elephants as well. Okay, so some of the elephants are also domesticated and pet animals, like the some people and human settlements also keep elephants as their domestic animals and earn livelihood from them, and those elephants are also have some right, and those elephants rights are also need to be protected as well in some of the provisions under the project elephant. Some of the legal cases also have been seen in the past, like Balram Kumawat versus Union of India and others in 2003. So what was happened in this as well was, all these cases are because of the illegal trading of the tusk or the ivory of the elephants, and you can take it off it later. And other cases in Indian Handicrafts Emporium and others versus Union of India and others in 2003 as well. Second one, and the third project is Hangul project. So in 1970s, Jammu and Kashmir government, in association with the